That's really good. Welcome back, everybody. So, as you can see, I'm not in my homestead. I am on another business trip. Usually, I don't do business back to back, or at least as close. But yeah, I was gone for business about 2 weeks ago, and here I am, right back at it. But that's okay. Got to do the things to make things run, right? So, today I want to talk about everybody's talking and freaking out about new gun control legislation, okay? I'm not here to say whether it's a good thing. I'm not here whether to say it's a bad thing. I'm not here to really weigh in on the merits of the arguments. But what I want to do really talk about and what I want to really mention is I want to have the honest dialogue and the honest, nuanced discussion that nobody wants to have. Okay? And I think a lot of you guys that watch me because I just give you the truth, the unraw, adulterated truth. And I think that that's what's really missing because we have one side pitted against another side, and that's the only way we see these conversations. What we don't see is the tactics and the behind the scenes, right? And I think that's super important because I've never felt that gun control legislation had a huge chance to make some of these things that we're going to see come down the pipe happen. You know, things like an actual permanent ban on so-called assault rifles, making it to where all background checks for all guns, whether that's you just trying to, inherit your father's firearm or you're trying to pass down a firearm to your children. I've never thought that we would see something like a registry. And under this new administration with former ATF agent and gun control advocate, David Chipman, this is a real possibility now. And the reason why I say that is because we are looking at a complete change in the politics of firearms and how we speak about firearms. And if you're not really quite sure what I mean by that, let me give you a few examples. This is the type of gun control advocates we've seen historically.
This is a ghost gun. This right here has ability with a .30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second. 30 magazine clip in half a second. This is a ghost gun. This right here has ability with a .30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second. 30 magazine clip in half a second.
The one good part about being in the city, they have access to some pretty awesome IPAs, my dude. Anyway, so as you saw from the clip that was Senator Kevin DeLeon, and I'm sure we've seen this video clip in nausea. When I think of gun control advocacy, this is the stuff I think about. I see fucking airheads going on fucking television and talking a bunch of shit. They have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, right? You have people that go on screen and make these emotional based arguments using all the wrong terminology, and they sound like a fucking idiot, right? So yeah, it's hard to take these people seriously when it comes to, gun control, whether you're for gun control or you're against gun control. I've had many conversations with people that will openly say that they are 100% for a gun grab, but they know that this guy is a complete idiot and it's obvious he has no idea what he's talking about. And we all know that goes to hurt the cause, whether you're for the cause or against the cause. That part is 100% irrelevant. So what has happened with gun control advocacy? They've evolved. They've got smarter. I mean, there's a huge difference between the senator who has, a limited at best understanding of firearms and somebody like former ATF agent, David Chipman, who not only is he well versed on gun control, he's well versed on firearms. This is somebody that knows them through and through. And if you have watched his interviews, and I encourage you, if you really want to know why I actually see gun control actually being evolving, and I actually see how they can be successful in a gun grab, go watch this guy speak on Capitol Hill. Okay, I've spent hours at this point, hours upon hours. I mean, this last week I've spent countless hours going through all his interviews, every one of them I can find, looking at them thorough from start to finish, looking at the work that he's put out there. This guy knows what he's talking about. Okay, this guy is an expert in his field, and not only is he an expert in his field when it comes to firearms, knowing the nuances of it, knowing the terminology, knowing the difference between a brace and a stock, and how one can go to manipulate the terminology for a political end. He's a subject matter expert. He's also a subject matter expert in the politics side of the house. So this is not somebody that's going to come on Capitol Hill and say magic gun, ghost clip, all that bullshit. That's not going to be him. This guy knows what the fuck he's talking about. And not only does he know what the fuck he's talking about, he's on a warpath. And so that's what people that want the right to bear arms need to understand. The game has changed. It is no longer these, useless idiots speaking about gun control. Now you have a professional that knows firearms through and through. He knows the politics through and through, and he's coming into this administration to kick some fucking ass. That's what you have to realize. The days of Kevin DeLeon's, those days are long over. Gun control advocacy has stepped their game up. Really stepped their game up. And not only have they stepped their game up, they also understand the mindset that a lot of people in the preparedness community find themselves in. Let's just watch this clip.
Risks. What are your biggest concerns about this increase?
Yeah, as an ATF special agent for 25 years, I had to train repeatedly to be proficient with the use of a gun. And most of the new buyers who went out to their gun store and bought a gun have no training whatsoever. And so in their mind, they might be confident. They might think that they're diehard, ready to go. But unfortunately, they're more like Tiger King, and they're putting themselves and their families in danger. And so what I would suggest is for those people who were first-time gun owners, if they did go out and buy a gun, I would secure that gun locked and unloaded and hide it behind the cans of tuna and beef jerky that you've stored in a cabinet. And, only bring that out if the zombies start to appear. And I don't think they are. And so I'm much more concerned about these guns being stored safely in the homes now and not unintendedly putting families at risk or the gun buyer themselves at risk.
Right. And we know police are already dealing with this unprecedented health crisis we're experiencing. Are they now prepared for a spike in gun ownership?
Yeah, they're already seeing that. Let's be clear. Imagine that in homes across the United States, domestic violence is already an issue. I would imagine that people under stress, losing their job, that there's more drinking. You put a gun in the mix, the potential that we are seeing is more domestic violence incidents. And now that you put a gun in the middle of a domestic violence incident, the lethality just soars. And so police need to be focused on ensuring that our hospitals are safe, that people are being transported to hospitals, that they're keeping safe themselves. They don't need to be responding to more armed domestic violence situations, which are already the most deadly call for police that they can ever go on. And we saw just in Phoenix within the last couple of days, a commander was shot and killed during a domestic violence incident. So right now, I understand the fear. I understand the concern. I have it myself. But we don't want to make rash decisions that place ourselves, our neighbors, and our families more at risk than actually keeping them safe.
These people know who you are, okay? These gun control advocacy groups, and these think tanks, they know exactly who preppers are. They know their mindset. They know your mindset. They know what you're trying to accomplish. They know who you are. They understand your supposed gray man mentality. And you have to realize something, okay? Like I said, I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm not saying this to piss you off. I'm saying this because this is the truth, okay? I know what is said behind these closed door meetings because I've been to many of them, right? As a fly on the wall, done executive protection. I've been in these rooms and I know exactly what they talk about and how they talk about people that are in the preparedness community, people that they deem as, what people like to deem themselves as patriots, right? The patriot movement. I know how they talk about you and I know what they think of you, okay? And there is a reason. I want us to be very clear, right? Let's say you're into preparedness, right? Let's say you're into firearms. Let's say you really think that it's important to have the right to bear arms, right? Let's say the Second Amendment means something to you. There is a reason, and let's say you believe that the YouTube algorithm, big tech, everybody that you claim is your enemy. Let's say they want to censor you at all costs. There's a reason why you don't see censorship on people that say we should lose our guns in a boating accident or we should bury them in a hole somewhere. That whole mantra, notice how the left never talks about it. Notice how gun control advocacies never talk about people misplacing their firearms. Why is it that they never even remotely touch it or attack it? Is it because it's such a revolutionary idea? Or is it because you're playing into their hand? I can tell you, you're playing into their hand. And I've talked about this before. You are playing into their hand. They want you to lose your guns in a boating accident. They want you to bury them in a hole somewhere. They want you to be the gray man that doesn't talk or speak or do anything to protect what you believe is your rights, right? And like I said, the purpose of this video is not to discuss whether it's a good or bad thing, because I can care less. It's irrelevant. It's totally irrelevant because the only thing that matters is what is. I don't like playing what if games. I don't. It does nothing for me. It does nothing for you. But if we're going to talk about the realness and the nuance of this conversation, you have to think, why is it that of all the t-shirts that can be banned, right? I see so many people walking around, I lost my guns in a boating accident. You never see those types of messages. You never see them try to be censored at all, right? But yet, a Trump 2020 shirt has gotten banned on many platforms. But you don't ever see, I lost my guns in a boating accident. You never see this messaging censored at all. You got to think, why is that? Because by falling into that mantra, you've played directly into the hand that guns are somehow a taboo subject. They're dangerous. They're taboo. You're on the fringe. And when you say that you're going to do X, Y, and Z to your firearms, you're playing directly into that. They're playing directly into that sentiment. The next generation of gun owners really are going to feel the stigma of firearms because you place the stigma on them as people that are preppers or people that care about your Second Amendment rights. You're doing the left's job for them. All the left has to say is, we're coming after them. We want to come after them. And preppers and Second Amendment people and patriots place a stigma on the firearms themselves. And that's something that's always fascinated me with the firearm community. It's always fascinating. It really has. It's always fucking fascinated me. All the left is doing the easy work because they're in it for the long haul. They know this is going to take a hot second, and they're willing to play the waiting game. And it's just so funny because the second the left says anything remotely close to wanting to control something, right? And it's not even talking about ban, to control it or to monitor it or to place legislation on it. The right does all the work, does all the free work and publicity of making that thing the fringe. It's true. I mean, let's just be honest with what we're talking about here. Let's just be 100% completely honest. If the government tried to even introduce legislation to ban coffee or to ban espresso machines, the white women of this nation would rise up and eradicate that problem. There's no doubt in my mind. 110% that problem would be fucking eradicated. And there's not any person on the face of the earth that can tell me fucking otherwise. You can't. There's no way on earth you can fucking convince me otherwise. If you try to censor or get rid of pornography online, that problem would be eradicated by the masses. I mean, we've seen it in California, right? Of essential business, not essential business, all that stuff. We have seen strip clubs go to war with the state and win as freedom of expression, freedom of speech. Our strip club's fucking here to stay, motherfuckers. And they're willing to go to fucking war for it. And they win. But when it comes to firearms, something that is a protected right, we can see the advocacy of those people. They don't give a shit. And maybe that's because in real life, people don't give a shit. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Like I said, this video isn't about if it's right or wrong. I'm talking about what really is, you know? And so we're looking at a system where the left is now bringing in heavy hitters, bringing in people that know what the fuck they're talking about. Because make no mistake, David Chipman, he knows what the fuck he's talking about. So you have somebody that knows what he's talking about, is on the warpath, and is here to fucking chew bubblegum and kick ass, and he's all out of fucking bubblegum. Like, that is the person that is about to lead the ATF. Make no fucking mistake about that. And then you have the people that supposedly are for their rights, you know, their firearm rights, and they are doing the left's job for them of making the firearm a fringe topic, a topic of taboo, making it, and it's, you know, basically perpetuating the idea that the firearm is somehow fringe, taboo, you know, something we can't talk about in public. So that's just the reality of the situation. Like I said, I never thought that we would arrive here, but with what I've seen just in the last few years, but especially just this last month, I believe it's going to happen. I believe we are there. I think there's going to be lots of legal battles, don't get me wrong, but the left has nothing but time, right? And as long as the left can continuously do what they're doing, and make no mistake, the only thing the left is doing, okay, the only thing the left is doing is saying where we want it. We're coming for the firearm, and the right is doing all the damage themselves. The right is literally playing directly into that hand and doing all the work for the left. They really are. They are doing all the work for the left. Because like I said before, if any group were to come after coffee, trust me, white women of this country are not going to be saying, "Oh my gosh, you're coming after my coffee. Oh, we're going to lose our coffee mugs in an accident, guys." They're not going to do that shit. Fuck no. No, you're fucking not coming after my coffee. You're not coming after my espresso machine. You're not coming after my French press. And not only are you not coming after it, the fact that you would even make such an assumption, we're going to you. That's what the white women of this country would do. And they would win. Like, there would be no entertaining the idea that getting rid of coffee is, ooh, it's a taboo subject. Ooh, it's edgy. No, that wouldn't happen. But for firearms, that's what firearms people do. People that care about the Second Amendment, that's what they do. They make it all edgy. Ooh, the left is coming for us. Ooh, I'm gonna go hide it. Ooh, boating accident. It's fucking hilarious. And like I said, I've never understood it. To this day, I don't fucking get it. But that's what it is. So realistically, there is. So we know the tactics of the left, right? The tactics of the left are, we are going to publicly profess that we want the firearm. The people that are for firearm ownership, the people that are for the Second Amendment, are going to do all the heavy lifting for us and make it edgy, make it taboo. They're going to do all the work of making the gun sensationalized. The right, the party of the gun, The people of the Second Amendment, they are doing everything that's necessary to sensationalize firearms, to make the left's jobs easy, to make the gun control advocacy job easier. That's just what it is. Call it what you want. It's the fucking truth. There's no one that can deny that that's the fact. It's not even controversial. So that's what the left's doing. That's what gun control people are doing, and gun advocates are totally buying into it, and they're letting it go. Now, the only thing that gun advocates have to do in order to keep their right to bear arms is simple. Care about guns just a fraction of the percent that they care about their coffee, their pornography, and their ability to drive. Like, really, if people that claim to support firearms cared as much about their firearms as they did their coffee, their porn, and their car, it would be a non-issue. It would be absolutely a non-issue. I mean, you have churches in California right now that can't even convene, right? They can't convene because of COVID restrictions and this, that, and the other. But yet you can go to downtown San Diego and get a lap dance. You know why? Because churches are not protected by the state because they didn't fight for their rights. But strip clubs, they did. Strip clubs have the right. You know why? Because people that own strip clubs and the people that go to strip clubs actually care about that protection and will actually fight for it. I know, it hurts, I don't know what to tell you. It's the truth. The quicker you can get over it and figure out what side of the fence you're on, the better off you're going to be. Like I said, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm not here to make friends. I'm just here to tell you what the absolute truth is. And the absolute truth is, right now, the Biden administration put a bulldog in their corner. And he knows what the fuck he's talking about. He knows the politics. He knows the guns. He knows everything. He knows what he's doing. The left is great with marketing, and the right has fallen totally in line with the playbook. Because the playbook is just beginning. The days of gun control advocates not knowing what they're talking about, they're over. This is a new chapter of activism. So there you have it. If you think I got it completely wrong, give me a thumbs down. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you believe that the right goes out of their way to sensationalize firearms in a negative way? Do you think it's good messaging to lose your firearms in a boating accident or to dig a hole and lose them? Do you think that's a good messaging? And like I said, these guys already know you guys are preppers. They know you guys hoard food. They know you guys hoard supplies. And they're mocking you. They're making fun of you. They know who you are. They know your mindset. And you know why it doesn't bother them? Because they know that you are not going to be effective. Because you are playing the gray man. That's what they want you to do. They want you to buy your shit, store it in your house, close the door, close the garage, lock the door, and wait for them to take control. You guys are doing a damn good job of it. That's all I have for you guys. As always, guys, long live the Republic.